a movement of young Egyptians who really wanted to adopt some form of Western democracy and wanted Western freedoms in their country. But they aren't the ones who took over. So either he's incompetent, or perhaps there's something that unites these two events. And I look at it and I say, what is it? Well, it seems to me the President of the United States likes radical Islamic fundamentalism. He likes radical Islamic fundamentalism in Iran, i.e. the mullahs, instead of a pro-freedom movement that's pro-Western. And he seems to like radical Islamic fundamentalism in Egypt, when it's the Muslim Brotherhood opposing an autocrat who has been our good ally for 30 years. And that seems to be the through line. Now, I want to read you, actually, I brought one quote, inclining towards a judgment that it wasn't just amateurism, but something else. And this is a quote from Obama's counterterrorism advisor, who's now the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Brennan. Kind of reminds me of that character, the Spectre in James Bond, with a cat and a little pinky like that. He's Dr. Evil. So he said this is from a talk he gave at CSIS in downtown on May the 26th, 2010. So before the Arab Spring had begun, right? This is 9 months before the Arab Spring. He says, the President's strategy is absolutely clear about the threat we face. Our enemy is not terrorism, because terrorism is but a tactic. Our enemy is not terror, because terror is a state of mind. And as Americans, we refuse to live in fear. Okay. So, nor do we describe our enemy as jihadists or Islamists, because jihad, get this, is a holy struggle, a legitimate tenet of Islam, meaning to purify oneself or one's community. And there's nothing holy or legitimate or Islamic about murdering innocent men, women, and children. Now, that's called an apology for murder, if you ask me.
Well, what did he say after that, though? I mean,
he elaborated on that. He said it another 20 times. Okay, he elaborated.
What was it? I mean, he told us what it wasn't. What was it?
He said jihad. Jihad is a legitimate tenet of Islam.
But I mean, he said our enemy is not terrorism. Our enemy is not jihad. What is our enemy?
Well, then it was muck. It was muck, and I go on to explain that as well. But it's muck. They essentially invented this term, violent extremists.
Oh, okay.
Our enemy are violent extremists who have no ideology, who are not motivated by anything. Maybe they're too poor and need some handouts from USAID, but they're certainly not driven by a notion of jihad. Absolutely not, because jihad is a legitimate tenet of Islam, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Yes, sir?
Before you go too far, I don't want to interrupt your...
No, go ahead.
I have two questions.
So, hi, Mr. Timmerman. Can you please tell me what your agenda for this evening was?
Well, I can provide information to people about the Middle East, about what's happening in Benghazi, what's happening in Iran. These are countries that I've followed for many, many years. I've been writing books about.
And what do you hope is the long-term effect from attending or giving these presentations?
Well, I think it's always important to give people information. The more you know, the more of an informed citizen you can be, and the better choices that you can make.
Timmerman's presentation was about Benghazi and Egypt, how the democratic movement in Iran was dwarfed under the Obama administration, and he asserted that Obama favors Islamic fundamentalists. He also discussed voter fraud in Montgomery County, the division between Jewish voter support of Democrats and Republicans, and how the media is liberal and fails to accurately give a voice to the Republican Party. Timmerman also explains that the Republicans intend to delay Obamacare with hopes of winning the Senate in January.